And if there's something that I haven't done, let me know.
Sure. Yeah.
And then after 4 weeks of you guys not doing something that I've asked, and then asking for when the things are going to be published, I'm asking you to publish something for 4 weeks now.
Okay. So just to clarify,
welcome back to another episode of the Diogo CORREA 5-8 morning show. So yesterday I was very frustrated. I was just about some people pulling their weight. And I didn't think I was too negative, right? But swarm of messages came after that. And that's fine. That's all good. That's really what we want is communication, right? And as I said, I want to have clear communication across the board. And that's not only internally within FIVE8 TV, but also externally to you guys, the audience. So I want you guys to be able to see as much as possible. Sure, there's going to be meetings, there's going to be personal things that there's no way that we can bring a camera or a microphone to. Anything else, I want you guys to have complete view of us across the board. Because in this day and age, I think you need to be as authentic as possible. You can't hide anything in this day and age. And if you do, it's going to come back to hurt you. So in terms of Fire Eyes, I was going to get him on a call today, but time over there, he's in the US at the minute. So time over there is a bit jagged. It's at the middle of the morning for him. Not morning. It's nighttime there for him. However, he sent me a message regarding what happened. And he goes, yeah, I am, if I haven't messed up already. I don't know what that means. Fire Eyes, get a fucking name, all right? Stop using aliases, all right? He just doesn't want his name out. And you know what? If you ask me, don't put my name out or something like that. That's absolutely fine. Just ask me first. But then again, you're in 2020, mate. You're about to hit 2021. What are you doing? Are you I don't even want to get into it. I feel like everyone is living in the 80s still. Trying to get a mysterious, I'm a mysterious person. He goes, I apologise. I got swamped this last week when I really meant to get it done. And this weekend I had to spend both days planting a cover crop. Can you believe that? I'm usually more on the ball. I had an avalanche of emergencies last week. An avalanche of emergencies last week. Do you see why I get frustrated, man? Do you see, I can sympathize with emergencies, but an avalanche of emergencies. Sometimes I gotta just laugh, man. Pulling me into multiple directions. So he has apologized, and it still didn't give a reason, really. You're planting crops on the weekend and you have an avalanche of emergencies last week, but these emergencies weren't big enough to spill onto the crop planting. But we move on. I'll have a talk to him a bit later and discuss what we can do to get this done as quick as possible for January. We're just implementing a lot of features. I understand that it's a lot of work, but I've done the coding. I've I built the entire site already. So all you need to do is go in there and do tweaks and optimizations. That's essentially it. But we'll get there. I appreciate this is a thing, right? I don't get annoyed much, right? I'm not angry. None of this angers me. There's nothing in a business sense that can anger me whatsoever. But things do frustrate me. And it frustrates me to the point where it's like a volcano. We're going to explode. Like I'll let it go until I can't anymore, right? And that's just it. And I don't think these are massive things either. You know what I mean? It's just things that should have been done so it doesn't get to this stage. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, get a real name, Fire Eyes. Come on, mate. Like, just let me say your name. I'll accept the apology if you let me say your name. But no, I'm not here to air people out. If you don't do something and I'm doing things on my end that you've asked for, we're going to hit this stage. Another person that I went at yesterday was the New Vibes girls, more specifically Meg. So if you don't know New Vibes, go listen to them, and they're on every Sunday. So they're also part of the FIVE8 digital family, and you heard yesterday my thoughts on a particular item. As I said, I want to be as transparent as possible. So I'm about to call Meg right now, as we had scheduled a call regarding this issue. Without any further ado, here is the call we had. See you guys tomorrow. Calling.
Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's happening?
We wanted to have a chat about Sunday.
Hey?
Wanted to have a chat about Sunday?
About Sunday? What's happening on Sunday?
Oh, what happened on Sunday?
Oh, what's happened on Sunday? Okay, so what's happened on Sunday?
Okay. So just a couple of things. So this isn't on the morning show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it or isn't it?
It could be.
So am I currently being recorded?
You could be, yeah.
So wait,
wait. What's the difference if you are and you're not? Like, what's?
Well, I guess for me, it's you said a few things on the morning show yesterday that really miscast events.
Okay.
So
and that's why I wanted to have a chat with you today. And it doesn't really matter if it's recorded or not, right? We can just have a chat.
Well, you kind of need to ask my permission to record. Just as like a courtesy, but also as a matter of law. So, yeah. But anyway, I wanted to work through a resolution. But first, on the morning show yesterday, you made the claim that Miss Meg asked, is her episode published? Is her episode published because she has things to do? which that wasn't the case at all. The message that I sent you was, hey, is the episode going to be published today? So, you know, very much not like I wasn't demanding. I didn't have really an expectation of like you or Ebony to go and publish it that instant because I had to go and do shit that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know, you responded, yeah, once you guys publish the 4 episodes, I've been constantly telling you to publish on the website. That benefits your podcast through SEO. And I replied, I thought Ed was doing it. And then I sent a message to Ed within the group chat saying, Ed, let me know if you're not able to. I've got plans today, / I'm out. So, like, you know, more of a logistical thing rather than like a diva thing as kind of portrayed in your episode yesterday. I'm sure that's just a miscommunication, but that's totally fine.
So is it Eb's fault that it wasn't published on no article was done in the last 3 weeks?
I mean, so I guess that brings me to another point, is that there's 2 people in this podcast, so that's Ebony and myself.
Yep.
And in the messages and even in your episode yesterday, you are putting the onus entirely on me, which isn't totally fair because, again, like there's 2 people in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So on Friday, I'd already copied the embedded code to start doing the post.
Do you know why I went at you though?
Yeah, I'm happy to hear it. I just like to finish. You know, you asked me questions, so I'd like to finish it up. So
I haven't spoken much at all, but yeah, go on.
Okay. So on Friday, I was at your place. I had the embedded code ready to go creating the post. And then Ebony was like, I'll do the post, you do the MailChimp. So I did the MailChimp, and given that she had taken responsibility for doing the post.
And how long did I ask you guys to do the MailChimp before it was done?
2 weeks. But see, it's still like delineating from the point here. So your point in these messages was on Sunday was around the podcast isn't going up until you make these posts. When we sorted out the logistics of that, or you know, kind of explained where the miscommunication or why it hadn't been done yet, you then moved on to MailChimp, and you know, it's clear that you've got a lot of anger and you're not communicating effectively. And I totally understand why you might feel frustrated and you might feel that you're not being heard. But you know, from my understanding, you want this to be like a professional operation, and I'm totally here for that. I'm on board with that. But, you know, trying to look for reasons to be angry at what we have or haven't done isn't productive. And quite frankly, like, it isn't what I signed up for.
Is it my... Is that it?
I mean, that's just in response to...
By the way, for the record, I'm not angry. I'm frustrated. That message frustrated me. Do you know why I was frustrated?
Sure.
And do you know why I came at you specifically?
Okay, please enlighten me.
So it's been multiple times, which it's due diligence. And it's the correct thing to do. Is every week you ask, is it going up? Is it posted? Why isn't it posted yet? Why hasn't it gone up? Why isn't it up at 9 a.m.? Good diligence. It's good. I appreciate that, and I really like it. But when you've been asked for 3 weeks, and that's both of you, to publish an article that helps your podcast.
So I'm just trying to understand why you didn't ask Ebony, who you live with, before you came to me in the messages, what was happening with the post. You could have asked both of us, but instead you were putting the onus squarely on me.
Yeah, because you ask, when is it going to be published? When is this going to be published? When it's a question that I've asked and hasn't been done. So when I say...
I asked if it was going to be published that day. It was, and instead of communicating, you should have really communicated in advance, maybe on Friday when we were all, kind of together. Hey, the podcast needs to be published. The podcast post needs to be published by Sunday if you want the episode to be up, rather than on the day. And then, that frustration totally came through in your message. And when I told you, oh, okay, well, from my understanding, Ebony is taking care of that. She took responsibility of that. Ask her. You just kind of looked for reasons like the MailChimp or how long it's been. Like, I get that you're frustrated of how long it's been, but you need to separate your frustration from like the logistical issues of what you need from us, delegating those tasks and responsibilities, the communication of that, and then your frustration, because those are two separate conversations.
I understand what you're saying. It's simply me saying, are these I understand there's more structure to be put in place. I completely get that. But when I say, guys, can you do this blog post? Guys, can you do this? Can you do this? That is to help you guys. It's to help your show. Like, there's no, SEO doesn't come through audio, right? So to help your show, we've shifted to a new platform altogether. That's a paid platform now that we have to put on, that puts us onto directories, that puts us onto more platforms. And where those platforms linked up is with the SEO of posts that goes out, and then the marketing on top of that. So when I say, can you do a post? And that's fine, you guys don't do it. I say again, can you do a post? We're 4 weeks in. Can you do a post? And the post isn't done. And then there's 2 weeks in of you going, is the episode up? Is the episode up?
Yep.
It gets to the point where on my end, everything has sort of gotten done, right?
Right. So that actually brings me to another question. So you mentioned in the podcast yesterday, that it's okay for you to get things that we want done. What are you referring to? So from my understanding, Ebony is doing the editing, and we're kind of taking care of the social media management and recording and
because so what happens is you generally build it up. Did you guys know what Anchor was even beforehand?
I've seen it before, yeah.
Yeah? And then did Ebony know how to edit?
I'm not too sure.
Did she ever use Premiere Pro?
Yeah, I think it was on her laptop for school.
The answer... no, she didn't know beforehand, right? And you guys didn't know about Anchor. You didn't know about the new platform that we're on now and all of that. So it's putting those things in place and then assisting your initial edits and then getting one of you to a stage where you can edit, right? So then I can have more time to try and grow out other things is the goal. Sure. So that's why it's gotten to the stage where I've taught her how to edit and she's taken upon herself to say, let me edit, because she didn't want me to listen to it and go through it all and so on and so forth. She wanted to edit it herself. And that's a good thing. That means that you guys get your show closer to what you guys want it to be. So that's where that came from. It came from on my end, I'm doing all the things that you guys have asked. And if there's something that I haven't done, let me know.
Sure. Yeah.
And then after 4 weeks of you guys not doing something that I've asked and then asking for when the things are going to be published, I'm asking you to publish something for 4 weeks now.
Okay. So just to clarify, this conversation that we're having isn't really about logistics. It's about you feeling frustrated and not heard. Is that right?
No, I'm not. I'm not feeling not heard. It's just that I'm trying to put a point across of if you guys want. Hold on 2 seconds. Hold on 2 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, you there? So what?
Yep.
Yeah. So what it comes down to essentially is not. I'm not angry or anything like that. It's what it comes down to is that don't message me asking me if your episode is going up if for 4 weeks I've asked you to put something up and you haven't. That's it.
Right.
That's all it is.
Okay.
There's nothing more or less than that. And the thing is that it's to benefit you guys. You understand what I'm saying?
I totally understand. So I totally get why you're feeling frustrated, and like I hear that, and yeah, that's definitely something that me and Ebony can both improve on.
And no, that's it. The blog posts have gone up. The blog posts are up now. The episode is up now. And now each week we just have a blog post and the episode goes up. And on Sunday is when the new Vibe podcast is out and when everyone listens to it, and there will be an accompanying blog post to that. And that's it.
Sure.
And that's all.
So
and that's all it is.
Yeah. So yeah, just before we wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Again, you're not really addressing why you came to me and only me.
Because you specifically asked if the episode was up. I wasn't there at the time. I wasn't next to Ebony. If she messaged me and said, "Is the episode up?" I would have said the same thing to her.
Okay,
it was specifically because you messaged saying, "Is this up?" And it's been 4 weeks of me asking is this up, and it hasn't been up. So then
but do you think how that's the onus on me entirely? Whereas I'm asking a logistical question, there's no sort of frustration or emotion behind it. It was just a logistical. Hey, is this going to be up? Like, I don't know if I hadn't been looped in as to whether there would be a delay, if there were issues with transistor like there was last week. There wasn't an intention to have any sort of pressure or expectation on that one. In terms of I get that I messaged first, so
that's a good thing, and you should be doing that. Like, that's a good thing to do, and you should be doing that each week. It was if Ebony messaged me that, then it would have been her that got it. So that's the only difference.
Okay, so
if I'm asking you guys to post something for 4 weeks, right, and I'm posting the stuff that you guys want, don't then ask me to post something that you guys want if you guys don't post what I asked for.
I would have messaged everything directly, but it was more just a courtesy to you because you're involved in the project.
I understand, and we're here now, but everything is getting done. Like, it's a...
Sorry, you just keep talking over me. I'm not able to make my point. Do you mind if I just make my point? And I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
Okay. So so I get that you messaged me because I messaged first. Fair enough. I do have some issues with how you communicated in your message. That would probably be untenable if they continued in the business relationship long term.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, more of a shock to me was that you put me on blast, which was mischaracterization of events within those messages on your morning show, but you only put me on blast. Again, this is 2 members on this podcast. It's not reasonable to put the onus entirely on me, regardless if I messaged first or didn't message at all, or whoever messaged. There's 2 people. And if you had asked Ebony, what was happening with the blog post, she would have been able to told you what she was doing. Because from my understanding, I've spoken to her since, she was doing the blog post on that day. So that whole, diatribe of frustration could have been expressed as frustration rather than a conflation of the frustration and logistics, but also, squarely directed to me. So, yeah, I was not aware that I'd be spoken about on your morning show yesterday. You didn't let me know in advance, nor when it was recorded, nor published. I sent you a message the night before saying I was happy to chat and talk about what you needed, so we could have the conversation that we're having now, and talk about how we can move forward long term. But in addition to the mischaracterization of events on WhatsApp, it really disappointed me, and it felt a bit like a breach of trust because I wasn't aware that any communications that we would have or frustrations between us or anything like that would be blasted on the internet. And I would appreciate whether I could have some agency as towards that. I think that's pretty reasonable to request.
Okay. Is there any?
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is there anything else beyond that?
Yeah, I'd like
just want to make
talk
sure.
about how we could. Yeah, I would love to talk about how we can move forward from this.
Well, do you want me to respond to that, or do you want to talk about how we can move forward?
I mean, both. Yeah.
So, did I say anything on yesterday's show, or the 5/8 take that goes out today, that was recorded on Saturday? Did I say anything there that is outside of the public sphere? Like, are you a show that is out in the public sphere? And did I say anything that is outside what is in the public sphere?
Yeah, so I haven't listened to what you've said on the 5/8 take. It's not been published, and I haven't listened to it, so I don't know. In terms of the communications that happened on Sunday, which we've discussed today, that isn't so I'm sure you're aware of this because you've got a lot of experience. The difference between external communications and internal communications.
Meg, I'm very much aware. Very much aware.
Yeah.
Like, I understand. As I said, it's really as simple as you're asking me to do something when you haven't done something that I asked. And that goes for you and Ebony. That goes for you and Ebony. But
that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is you mischaracterizing me in yesterday's podcast without any sort of notice before recording it, once it was recorded, or publishing it.
It's not an attack on your character. There's no attack on your character.
It was a mischaracterization of events. Like, I'm not saying it was an attack on my character.
No.
It was
What
what it was with me, though, I felt disappointed that you wouldn't give me the option as to whether I wanted that on the internet, given that you did mischaracterize me, but also, like, they were internal communications. So, you're kind of removing the right from me to have under my own name what I want out on the internet. So it felt like a breach of trust.
Well, I'm sorry that it felt that way, but it wasn't a breach of trust. It was simply saying a blog post wasn't up, and you're asking for an episode to go up if a blog post isn't going up.
What you said was that I asked you said Miss Meg asked if her episode is published. Is her episode published because she has things to do? Which wasn't true. That wasn't like, we both have the messages. Like, that's not what I said.
We do have the messages.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not what was said.
That's exact. Did you not say that you had things to do on Sunday?
What I said.
Just let me know. Let me know if the episode is up or not, because I have things to do today.
No, I didn't say that. I said.
I haven't read it, but along those lines, is it not what was said?
No,
we're going deeper and deeper, Meg. Like, we don't need to go deeper and deeper.
Well, I mean, you could just not mischaracterize the events and like go by the facts, and maybe we wouldn't have to go with it.
Okay, tell me the facts, and then I really want to round this off. Tell me the facts.
Okay, so I said, hey, is the episode going to be published today? You said, yeah, once you guys publish the 4 episodes, I've been constantly telling you to publish on the website that benefits your podcast through SEO.
Yep.
I said, I thought Ed was doing it, and then I sent a message to Ed. Ed, let me know if you're not able to. I've got plans today, / I'm out, so
there you
more
go.
of the logistics. But no, but that's like
Meg,
I'm not able to because I'm out today. So
Meg, you just read out the text message, and you don't need to like look at things. Okay, so what did you say? Where is it?
So yeah, and also it's not for you to determine whether it was a breach of trust or not. Trust is something that I feel. So if I feel if it was breached, then
I said I'm sorry that you feel that it was breached.
Yeah,
because there was no trust breach. Trust to me, breaching trust would be me like saying something that's really detrimental to your character, or saying something that we've said privately that I then bring out to the public light.
But that's what happened, because these were external communications. These were private.
I don't see podcast and 2 shows that are public as private.
Yeah, but that's like saying if a public company is listed and their internal communications get leaked, it's fine because it's a public company. Like that logic doesn't stand up.
What do you mean? Say that again.
So
we're going deeper and deeper as well. We can argue of what a company should and shouldn't do, and its social responsibilities and so on and so forth.
This is about you're saying, given that it's the podcasts are public on the public domain, therefore any internal communications, it is implicit that any internal communications will therefore to be public, which is not the case. I was drawing the comparison of for example, Apple. If Apple's CEO's internal emails or internal communications got leaked out to journalists.
Apple is not a show. Apple is not a show.
No, but it is in the public domain. It's publicly listed. It has external communications.
Yeah, I truly think every single Apple employee and the company should have everything public.
Okay. Well, it would have been great to know your ethos before, I guess, we started this venture, because that wasn't communicated to me. So there was no reasonable expectation for me to know that would be the case. And I wouldn't have signed up for that, or at least I would have approached this a lot differently if that were the case. Because again, you're taking away my right to be able to put out what I want on the internet.
I'm not taking your right at all. You can
call me by name.
You can say it completely.
So how would you like to move forward on this?
I thought we would already move forward. All the blog posts are now up, and your episode is up, and then next week the episodes will be up. You guys can talk about me on your podcast. You're happy to let me know how you guys feel. I'm here listening to you and listening from your end as if maybe I've gotten something wrong. To me, it was really a sense of that text message annoyed me because you're asking if something's up when I've asked you for 4 weeks and nothing has been up. So that's really it. So now the posts are up, the episode's up, and then...
No, in terms of moving forward, I mean, as I said earlier in this conversation, the way you handled this, so conflating logistical matters with your frustration, and then putting that out on the internet without any forewarning or even warning, notification once it has been published, is not tenable for me in a long-term business relationship. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping to move forward so we can increase our communication on a logistical sense, so we don't run into these issues where you feel frustrated again. Because this is just an incident in isolation, but it speaks to a larger issue of communication and operations that we need to address.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. We're growing. There's so many things. I was on the UK call this morning, trying to get advisors on, I got the US guy that I'm about to get onto a call with, that we got to discuss all of that situation. So there's a lot of things and we're still growing and developing. So I understand there needs to be things that are put in place so this doesn't happen, like checklists and bounds and everything. But nothing that I say is anything to your personal life or anything like that. It's literally regards to the show and the website and FIVE8 TV as a whole.
Yeah. So I'm trying to communicate. Like, I get that, but what I'm trying to communicate to you is that the way you communicated is not on Sunday and on the and using, your morning show as a medium to communicate your frustration even further, that's like, that doesn't align with my expectations and boundaries in a professional environment. And nor does it for any reasonable person. So I was hoping we could address how we could communicate in a healthy professional context moving forward.
Meg, have we ever had any other issue in terms of a professional manner in the past?
No.
There you go. There's a reason for everything.
What do you mean?
There's a reason for everything. There has been no other time. So you're jumping out the window for one situation, which is...
Well, I'm just telling you that, like, if it happens again, then, like, I'm going to have to revisit my involvement,
Don't let it happen again. Don't let...
Well, no, don't put the onus on me. Don't put the onus on me.
No,
like, the onus is on the communication, the infrastructure, and your lack of communication with Ebony, and your conflation with your frustration and logistical communication towards me.
All I'm doing is trying to help your show. Don't do the post. How about that? Don't do it. Don't do any of it. Is that better? Is that a better thing?
No, that's not that's not the point at all. You're not listening
I asked you to get the mailing list together. I ask you guys to do the posts. You guys don't get the mailing list together and you don't do the post until it gets to a frustrating point and then you do it. Like, that's what happened. And that's not just you, that's Ebony as well. And she can get on a call as well and decide, but you were the one that messaged me on that day. And then that's...
So I got the brunt of your frustration because I followed up on logistics. Okay.
Yes.
That's not good. That's not good. That's not a healthy professional environment. Like,
no, do you know what it would be? Do you know what would be a healthy professional environment? If when you're asking me to do something, I do it. And when I ask you to do something, you do it.
Yep. And when we were...
That sounds right. Yeah. That sounds fair. Yeah.
Totally. But when you communicate your frustration, like, I feel like you've been a manager before, so have I, and I have managers.
Yes.
If there is frustration, that's typically you deal with your, we have a personal friendship as well.
Yeah,
so we
do.
have the space to be able to deal with that outside of the professional. That compartmentalization, I think, is really key.
Yep.
So you can talk to me about that outside of professional context where we're discussing the logistics. For me, as a friend, obviously I don't want to frustrate you, and I clearly didn't hear you when you were asking for it to be done. I heard you, but I wasn't listening. So that's
there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that, and I apologize that you feel like I'm airing you out.
Don't say that. That is such a bullshit apology.
What?
No, don't.
What do you want me to say?
Because you're saying, no, I apologize you feel that way. You're, again, putting the onus on me. What made me feel that way? Your conflation of...
How do I apologize to that? No, now we're getting into a whole different avenue of things. And I'm pretty sure I've apologized for what I need to apologize twice or three times on this call.
Okay, you apologize for my feelings, which is a bullshit apology, because you should be apologizing for your actions that resulted in the feelings, much like I did. I'm sorry that I didn't listen to you. See, I'm the one that I took the action that made you upset, and I'm sorry for that. and rather than, oh, I'm apologized that you feel frustrated. Because no, that's bullshit. Like,
Okay, what should I apologize for? How should I apologize? I'm learning, Veg. I'm a human. I'm trying to learn. How do I apologize?
well, I mean, what's like, are you sorry for like the actions that led to my feelings, that, like my residual feelings?
No, but what
actions in particular?
And what led to what?
Well, like, you know, this feeling that like the professional environment wasn't tenable, but also that you disrespected my boundaries and breached my trust. Because that's how it led me feeling. And the actions that preceded that, which was your part.
Do you know what I apologize for? I apologize that we haven't sat down and I haven't communicated enough that we, in terms of the shows, in terms of you guys, us, Chookers, and in terms of the site and everything, that those avenues I'd like to be as transparent as possible.
Yeah. And maybe like giving examples what that would be great.
An example would be something like...
It sounds like you need to, like, we all need to communicate our needs, expectations, and boundaries and agree on those before taking any actions, particularly in the public arena.
Say that again, sorry. So it just computes exactly in my brain.
So it sounds like we all need to sit down and have a chat about, like, all of us, like you, me, Ebony, and I don't know about the other podcasters. It's probably something you should do, but needs, expectations, and boundaries when it comes to the podcast and the logistics and operations of the podcast. Because that way you can communicate exactly what you mean by transparency. So what it exactly looks like. So you give us the opportunity to be able to engage with it or not. Because when you're not articulating that, you're removing that.
Actually, I can tell you right now, and we can have a deeper conversation about it, but this has gone on for 35 minutes, this call already. Yeah. What I expect is to try and become the most transparent company in Australia. That's what I would absolutely love. That doesn't mean like airing out all little company secrets or personal secrets or anything like that. Mm-hmm. That's not what we're discussing. Like, what I'm talking about is when we get sales reps in, when we get marketing people in, when we get operations people, accountants in, if the salesperson has screwed up a particular deal, like, why? And instead of that why being behind closed doors, being like, why did it happen in front? Do you understand? That's not a private matter.
Okay. And I think it's great, you know, like, you're going to do what you're going to do, which is great. But I think that you're communicating it before, you know, you hire salespeople, so they have a reasonable expectation that,
that's why I'm saying it. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it like right now, and that's why it's completely all documented. I don't think anything that I said about you or anything, it's not, as I said, you are very diligent, you're very on task, you've done all the Instagram posts, you've been diligent in asking Ebony what you should do on the podcast, how you should add values to the listener, how you should campaign. You've asked me what you should do here, there, and in terms of growing the podcast, you actually, each Sunday, you do ask, is the podcast up? When will it be up? And those are all good things. Like, very diligent, very good worker as well. Like, you're a hard worker. It was literally, I've been asking for something for 4 weeks and it just hit that point where it didn't get done, and I've been doing it on my end. All the things that you guys ask from me, I do it on time,
Mm-hmm.
and just that one thing didn't get done. So when you messaged me and it was you, not her, asking if it was going up, it's just plain and simple, black and white, that everything that you asked me if it's going up is gone up. All the 4 that I asked you, that's for you guys, hasn't gone up. And that's when it hit that point. But I don't think I've attacked your character particularly.
I didn't say
and I'm here having a complete free discussion with you so you can bring out your side of the story as well. Like, it's not like I've attacked you and then I've like stopped you from talking somehow. Like, that's not the case at all. Like, and I've said, like, I appreciate the due diligence. I do. And you are on top of it and it's amazing. It's just that particular situation frustrated me. And I can say my frustration. I think that's okay.
I definitely, of course, like, I want you to communicate your frustration. I guess, like, you know.
And we're getting deeper and deeper when we didn't really have to, like, at all. Like, we can end the call now. It's fine. Everything's fine. Your episode's out next Sunday and the blog post will accompany the episode every single Sunday.
But I think we do need to have a chat about, like...
Oh, there's a whole load of things that we need to chat about. Yeah. It's not just this. Like, there's a whole load of things that we need to chat about. I'm well aware of that. And we we will have that sit down. Yeah. It's fine. But in terms of this one, I think we can close off this particular chapter. And you're welcome to say anything you want about me on your podcast as well.
I'm keen to hear the 5/8 take now.
I wish we recorded it now after everything. It's a bit shitty that it's like a couple of days before.
No, really.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway.
All right, I'll speak to you a bit later. I do need to get this going. Yeah, sorry. What did you say just then?
Separate to all of this, this is like personal stuff now.
Don't go into personal stuff. No, you're still being recorded. Don't go into anything personal. I'll speak to you later about anything personal.
All right, okay. All right. Have a good one.
You too.
For the chat.
Ciao. Bye. Bye.